we're here with another episode of Conversations and Connections. We're the official podcast of the Family Crisis Center of East Texas. I'm Stuart Burson, the prevention coordinator for the agency, and we're taking the show on the road again. Today we are at the Seasons of Hope Center, and we're talking with Paige Pate. She's the Executive Director for Seasons of Hope. Just to kind of talk a little bit about what Seasons of Hope is and what they do here and the services they provide. Paige, I appreciate you coming out and doing this.
Thank you for having me today.
I say coming out. I came out here letting me come out here and do this. So I guess, first of all, let's just kind of talk about what exactly is the Seasons of Hope Center. I've heard of Seasons of Hope. I, of course, kind of have an idea about what you guys do, but for the listeners, explain exactly what Seasons of Hope is.
All right. Well, Seasons of Hope Center is a refuge for women. They either have experienced or are experiencing some type of brokenness, whether it's addiction, incarceration, abuse, whatever that may look like. And so we want them to be a safe place. That's why we call it a refuge. We are not a rehab. And so there's a little bit of difference there. Okay. And they come out to our property, and hopefully they're going to live here for about a year, and it's just a safe place for them to come. We have our byline states that we are restoring women, redeeming lives, and reuniting families. So not only do we want to help you, we want to help the whole you. And the reuniting families is very big for me, especially because a lot of the ladies that come through do have children. Okay. And so we hope that they get reunited with their children. But we hope that each woman that becomes a part of the program really sees who they are for themselves, and that there is hope out there, and that they can get better. And so we want to work with them not only as a group, but as individuals. Sure. It's important. Each one that comes in has a different background they've come from.
Right. Okay. So you kind of touched on this just now, but let's go maybe more in depth. What issues must a woman be facing to qualify to enter this program? Is there certain criteria? You said some level of brokenness, and you gave a lot of different examples. Are there? I guess what I'm asking, what must a woman be going through to come here? You kind of touched on that, really. Right?
And they don't necessarily have to be going through it at the moment. It depends on how they come to us. Okay. Like what avenue they come from. We would like you to be 21 or older, I will say that. But most of our women have experienced like addiction, abuse, incarceration, or some type of trauma where, say, for instance, like an unstable relationship, the death of a spouse or a loved one. Sorry.
Oh, you're good.
And,
you're good.
Like something like that. Or what about the unstable family life? Lots of our women come out of an unstable family life, meaning there's probably been drugs and alcohol in their family dynamic. Okay. And so any of that, and really what we're asking is somebody that really wants to get well, that wants to get better, that truly is going to put the work in to move their life from the way they are making their choices they're making to, a 360 of making other choices. And so the way that they come to us is all different kinds of ways. We get referrals like from ADAC, Alcohol and Drug Abuse Council, from Family Crisis Center, from the judicial system, probation, parole. Lots of times you'll have a friend will call. Okay. And, hey, my friend really needs help. We've had grandmothers, aunts, uncles, moms, dads, brothers. Everybody has called, which I think I kind of like, because it gives me the opportunity to say, yay, they have a good support system. So a lot of times they'll call, and that's how the relationship gets started. The other way that we have people come to us is, I'm not sure how familiar you are with the county jails or the Texas prison system, but you have to snail mail most things nowadays. And so we go back and forth with that kind of thing. And so I do have correspondence with them.
Okay. All right. How many, so if a woman enters the program here at Seasons of Hope, are they required to stay here? Are they off-site, or do they need to be here?
They need to be on property.
Okay.
We do have a house that we can hold up to 6 women at one time.
Okay.
And so they live in it's a home. It's like a ranch style home with the living room, kitchen, bedrooms, all that kind of thing. But it is common living. So there's a lot that goes on, with the dynamics of that. But yes, they stay here.
Okay,
Yeah.
great. On your website and in the brochures and everything that you have to promote Seasons of Hope, one of your biggest things that you emphasize, and I guess you can call it your selling point, that the program is faith-based. How important is that to you or to the program to have that faith element?
For me personally, and for the program itself, we believe that the faith-based component is vitally important to the individual participants. I think it gives them an opportunity to have a basis for stability when they go into independent living or out in the world. And if they build a strong faith base, it allows them also an access to a community of believers that gives them fellowship and support. Because when they're here, we try to find a mentor for them.
Okay.
And it's really wonderful because it's somebody that's not staff, essentially. And so they just just walking alongside them, not doing anything special, just learning how to be in relationship. So when that faith-based component comes in, they have somebody they can depend on. The other thing that we do is each participant every morning goes through, they have devotion. Some woman comes in Monday through Friday from the community, and they go over whatever they're going to go over, whatever's put on their heart. The other thing we do that we've introduced in this last year is, and it's special to me personally, but there's a Bible study out there called Bible Study Fellowship. It's an international Bible study that connects people around the world to examine and discuss the Bible together. So in a like a real structured environment. So there's homework and all that kind of thing. But you get within that, we go out, and it's in a place here in the community. So we go out and we sit in a group of 15 women.
Okay.
And so there's like 4 or 5 groups. But anyway, they get to understand the back and forth, I think. So this year we're studying the book of John, and it goes for 30 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah, it goes September to May. Very in depth. I love it. We also have a curriculum here that's faith-based called Life Challenge. It's a self-paced curriculum, which is really great for us because it doesn't matter where you come in. So if somebody comes in January of this year and somebody else comes in June, it doesn't matter. You start at
They're not going to miss out on anything.
They're not going to miss out.
They're not going to be lost, like what's going on.
No.
Anything like that.
Because it's all self-paced. So like you might be working on one on addiction, and I might be working on one that helps me make decisions.
Okay.
So everybody does a little bit different, but it's got all kinds of great, they're little packets of books, essentially, you go through, like decision making, positive life skills, living in community, those kinds of things.
Okay. Well, another big element here is the equine therapy, and it's very obvious when you drive up onto the property. Tell me a little bit about that. Why the equine therapy?
Well, horses are really highly sensitive animals, and so when I first came on property, I'll be honest, I was not a horse person. Did not understand horses. Was scared of them. Wouldn't even get in the pasture with them. I mean, it was crazy. But I began to understand why horses are used in therapy of all kinds. They use horse therapy on children quite a bit too, and it gives whoever the client is a way to work through their life struggles without anybody telling them anything. The horse doesn't judge them. And so I think it's just, I don't know. I think that the horse somehow instinctively knows through our body language and our nonverbal cues. I don't know how they do this. It's amazing, but they can see you. It's kind of sort of like a mirror. And if you've ever experienced it, I don't personally go out there when the therapy is going on because it's really a one-on-one between the therapist and the participant. But I have watched horses, when someone's stubborn, for instance, that horse will put his feet down and he won't move, and the girl can't get him to move, and she can't figure out why she can't get him to move, and she's so stubborn. They're just the coolest animals. So generally what happens is when a participant comes, they kind of adopt one of the horses as their own. You can watch the relationship grow, which I think is really good because it gives them a basis for building trust, because animals are good at that.
Right. How do your the ladies here, your clients, react to the horses? You said you were kind of a little standoffish about horses when you first got here.
Yeah.
Do you ever have any women that come here, they're like, oh, no, I'm not going to go near a horse?
Yes, we definitely have that because they're over 1,000 pounds. They're big animals,
Sure.
And you do have to have respect for them. But yet at the same time, they can be very gentle. And so, yeah, we have. It's interesting to watch. There are some women that come in. You can tell they've had horses in their background at some point, probably as a child. Other ones may not, but they're real animal lovers, and they connect. It's the strangest thing. And then you have the me's of the world who go, "Oh dear, I'm not sure I'm not sure what's about to happen." But one thing horses will do, they will teach you to learn what your obstacles are.
Okay.
And then the therapist works with the ladies to say, how do you overcome an obstacle in a healthy way? Which I think is really, really great.
Yeah. How long is the program? When someone comes here and they check in, how long are they here before they complete the program?
The goal is for them to be here for a year.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
I did not realize it was that long.
Well, what happens, and this is just my opinion, I think it takes a long time when your way of thinking and your choices have led you down one path. You have to change your thinking and choices to lead down probably a path that's a little more successful. And so that's why it takes a long time. I will say that a lot of our women do come out of incarceration through county jails or the state prison system. And a lot of them are, when I say starting over, literally from the beginning, I got to get a driver's license. I need a social security
So you're talking about
card.
literally having to start a new life.
Mm-hmm. You started a whole new life. Yeah. And so a lot of the first 3 months are spent working on those kinds of things. And we want to establish what do you need for your mental or physical health needs. And then, we have different classes and like we have a grief class, for instance, that there's a lady in the community that she and her husband wrote a grief curriculum for the prisons out in Diboll. And so she adapted it for us here. And because grief to me is a huge, what do you want to call it? Like jumping off point where a lot of people go down a path they don't need to.
Sure.
And grief is, as you know, comes in lots of different ways. It's not just death. And so it's good to explore that. So a lot of those first 3 to 6 months are spent doing that. Then we would want to go into a time where, what do you want to do? What, like with yourself, are you wanting to get education, or do you need to get a job? Like what's your path? And then towards the latter part of the year, we hope you go to work so that you can save money, but yet still live out here. But we are a voluntary program, so you can walk out the front door anytime you want.
Right. Do you have a waiting list?
No, we do not.
Is there a waiting list? I was just wondering, like if someone, you say, you can house 6 people. I don't know if you're ever full. If like all 6 beds are occupied, someone says, hey, I'm interested in enrolling in this program. Do they have to wait sometimes? Yeah,
they would have to wait if we were full. We normally run probably about 3 to 5.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a big commitment if you've come out of what's called the free, meaning you're out in the world, you're living, and you have to come here. We don't have, the participants don't have cell phones. And that's a big deal. And so if you've been running around with your own cell phone and all that, but the reason for that is to get you to have time to concentrate on yourself, to pull you in to be able to focus so that you can focus on what you personally need to focus on.
Sure. So what other elements do you use? We talked about the program being faith-based and the equine therapy. What other things do you get the ladies involved in as part of the program?
Well, there's quite a few little things, but one of the things that we really want to teach is responsibility. Because a lot of times our clients that come through have really not learned day-to-day You know how like you get up every day and you go, oh, I've got to go to work today and I'm going to get up and I'm going to blah, 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 do all my stuff. That's not how their lives have necessarily been lived, especially if you've been in addiction. So we want to take any aspect we can and help them learn responsibility. Okay. So they live in a common home out here. So we want them to, that's their home. You got to take care of that.
Sure.
So they work together as a group to do that. They work together as a group to take care of the horses and the dogs and the other animals that are on here. The other thing they do as a group is grounds maintenance. We have 34 acres here, and they help. We don't mow all of it, but we have, mowing and weed eating and engine repair of all our equipment, which they can learn all kinds of stuff. One of the things I really like, though, that we have is gardening. We do a vegetable garden in the spring. So the girls help to design it, to plant it, to nourish it, to take care of it, weed it, which is not fun. But I think it allows each woman to see what happens. Like, I've got a plan, and if I'm consistent every day with this is the product I get. So
sure.
in real life, if we get up and go to work every day,
exactly.
So we have creative arts.
Right.
We have that is part of that. So anyway.
Okay. Well, besides you, how many folks do you have here that help facilitate and run the operation?
Well, thank you for asking that, because right now I'm kind of running solo, but we do have, my program director just recently retired, and so we are looking for a program director, and she spends most of her time with the ladies, meaning when you come in, she's going to walk with you to figure out what your goal is. And so a lot of times what we'll do, we'll have a 12-month goal month by month. So we start at month 12 and work backwards. So what does it take to get there? So what is your ultimate goal? Do I want to go to work? Do I want to be reunited with my children? Or do I have to work through CPS case? Do I have court issues I need to take care of, like that kind of thing.
Right.
But she works diligently with them to figure that out. Then we do have a whole slew of volunteers.
I was going to say, obviously, you probably have to rely on a lot of folks to come out here and volunteer their time and effort.
Yes, lots of volunteers.
Yeah.
From outside things to inside things to classes to, there's a lot of women that come in and they have so many talents sometimes, I think, that they don't realize they have. And there's lots of opportunity to be able to come out and just hang out. Some of these ladies, especially the ones that come out of incarceration, they tend to not be they don't trust easily. So it's nice to see that you can have relationship with other people and trust them, and they don't really want anything out of you. They just want to sit and talk with you and because sometimes we'll go to the movies or we'll go to have coffee or whatever, whatever, just day-to-day life, those kinds of things. So,
how long has this program been in operation? How did all of this get started?
Well, back in 2006, there is a woman that currently lives in Lufkin, and it was her dream or vision, whatever way you want to look at it, that she wanted a place for women that have some type of brokenness to come to. And so, it took them about 2 or 3 years, and they put together the property, which is now our 34 acres.
Okay.
And it partnered with a local church in town and built our dormitory, or our cottage, as we call it, where the ladies live. And that, I think in 2009, that was built. In 2010, the first ladies graduated.
Okay.
And so it's been in existence for a long time, but we're still in the process of growing it. When I came here in 2019, and I'm probably more on the administrative bent than another way, and so got all policies and procedures and all that stuff, because you got to have a base, all that fun stuff.
Yeah. Well, if someone is listening to this and they say, hey, you know what, either I'm interested in this program or I know someone who is, how can they get in touch with you or just get more information on Seasons of Hope and how to go from there, find out maybe how to get started with this program if that's something that they're wanting to do?
Well, thank you for asking that, because we're always looking. We do have an application process. A lot of people don't know about that, but if you can either, obviously you can mail us something, but you can call in. Our main number is 936-875-1900 and just talk talk to us, because I want everyone up front to kind of know like what the expectations of the program are, and we want to make sure that you're a good fit for us, but we really want to be a good fit for you, because I want you to be successful, you know. And so they would fill out the application, and if I have an opportunity, I really want to talk to you face to face. Sometimes I can't. Sometimes, you know, they come from different cities. But if I have that opportunity, I'm going to sit there and talk to you.
Okay, you brought something that you said they come from different cities. The ladies here, are they all from the East Texas area, or can someone from Houston or Dallas or whatever come here as well?
Yeah, and I will say sometimes, Stuart, when you're in addiction and you have a group that you hang out with doing that type of thing that's going on, it's better if you get outside of that. And so sometimes it's better if you come from Houston or Dallas, because you don't know anybody here. Right. But we've had people from all over the state, especially if they've come through the TDCJ. Okay. Then it makes it easier for them, because then when you go around town, you don't know anyone. Yeah. You know. Right. And then you get stable enough, and a lot of times they won't even go back to their environment. There are several women living here in the community in Lufkin that have graduated from this program, and they stay in Lufkin because it's a safe place for them. And we're also here if something happens. Right. You know. Okay. Yeah.
Great. Well, Paige Pate, Executive Director of the Seasons of Hope Center, thank you for taking some time and talking with me. This has been, I've learned a lot. Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
And again, I always like to end the podcast with our information. If you feel like you need the services of the Family Crisis Center, don't forget we do have that toll-free 800 hotline. That's 1-800-828-7233. Also, you can subscribe to Conversations and Connections via Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, pretty much any podcast service of your choice. Remember, always be the voice, if not for you, for someone else.